Alrighty. Let's see what we can get here. Let's see what can we do here. That's 30 Canthal. 36 Canthal. Huh, rotate in. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. Group 47. Alright guys, give me 1 second here. Yeah, I'm trying to be quiet. Quiet as I can. This show is extremely loud. Hey, we got somebody watching. That's cool. First time going live. I wasn't thinking I'd get anybody on here. Put a comment up, man. Let me know. Let me know. Oh, hey, Katie, what's up? Come on, Dribble. There you go. Yeah, I'm trying to get more people involved in my YouTube channel. You're right, it is cool. Kind of boring making a Clapton one-handed. No need to be sorry. Actually, it's my first time going live on YouTube, so I'm still learning as I go. So what made me decide? Well, I'm a big, you know me, I'm a big advocate of the vaping industry. I love what they're doing. Well, I love most of the things they're doing. Just thought I'd have a little bit of fun with it. A lot of people are telling me I need a new hobby because they've seen some of the coils I build. So it's like, well, why not take that same hobby and actually make some use out of it? Get involved better, you know what I mean? And then this is taking a while. Oh yeah, spool cameras really help. As you can see, I'm doing this all one-handed. I just got my right hand on my drill, pulling the trigger. Yeah, it all came in. It came in on Friday. Yeah, 3,500 feet of wire. I actually got it all spread out here on the desk right now. Keeping the count. Yeah. As far as the spools, I still have a bit of wire. So let's see, I'm up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. I got about 35 spools of wire. Depends. Needless to say, honestly, I have no idea. I never had that much wire at one time, so we'll see how long it lasts. When I run out, I'll let you know. That way you can kind of get a destination. I give it about a month. Gotta be back to ordering. And yeah, it's a spool of wire. It's got a, it's basically what's called a spool tamer. It keeps the wire, it keeps a good amount of tension on the wire. These screwdrivers raise it up to help guide the buckle on top here evenly along the core. And it's making the perfect clapping. Because my hands are not steady enough with this really thin gauge. I'm using 26 and 36, so me and 36 free-handed don't get along very well. Usually it puts enough, it generally puts enough tension on the clapping wire to keep it on the core, not too tight. But after I'm done with this, I'm going to take the very ends, bend them over into a U shape, and then clamp them down with a pair of pliers just to make sure they stay secured. Got about that much left. It's gonna take it a minute. What should I use next? Aha. Tick tock, tick tock. Yeah, quite a bit actually. I would say I'm tapping about 2 feet of wire here. You know what? That should be. Now I'm gonna keep going the rest of the one. programmable coil wrap, how long would it typically be? I would say if you're talking about wrapping the coil on the screwdriver, for on three, probably take about, I say, to do one wrap, I would say it probably takes about a good, kind of, with my simple brain's kind of hard to do that kind of math in my head. But my best estimation, I would say it takes about, I'd say about a ½ inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch at most for a single wrap. But I will be twisting this with a single strand, so it's gonna, as a twist, it's gonna shorten up some. So I just want to make sure I got plenty enough in the end result to have enough for a dual build, and I'm using quite a few wraps. But I got about a 1/4 inch left here, but this should be enough. All right. Speaking of which, what are your plans with this creation tonight? This build actually is going to be used on my LiPo box. Yeah, she needs a new build. The one I put in there has too high of ohmage. It's got too much of a ramp up, and it's the heat is not there like I like it. So it's time for a new build. The fact that full power is not even enough to really give it a good fire, yeah, it tells you how high the resistance is. I think I used the neutral post, so it stacks the resistance of the coils together. So I think the build came out to a 1.9 ohm build. Basically, and if you want me to, I can teach you some. It's actually pretty easy once it's easier for someone to demonstrate it to you. I was down that road at one point myself. But basically, ohms is the resistance of the coil, and obviously the higher the ohms, and as simple as I can just explain it to you. Basically, when it comes down to resistance, the higher the ohms are for a coil, the more power the more power it needs in order to actually fire. So like, if you were to use, say you took a parallel unregulated box mod, which parallel means no matter how many batteries you have in that box, the voltage output is going to be 4.2 volts. And let's say you have a 0.5 ohm coil on the atomizer. In parallel, the ramp up is ridiculous. It takes virtually an eternity for the coil to actually fire to its optimum temperature. But if you were to put that on a series where the voltage is stacked, 8.4 volts for a dual battery mod, then the ramp up, it takes less time to ramp up. It fires more violently. It puts out more vapor. Basically, So basically, yeah, simple terms, the higher the resistance, the more power it takes to actually get a decent vape out of the coil. But since I'm running a LiPo mod at 16.8 volts, I need a high resistance. I usually shoot for zero point 0.8 to 1 ohm, and so I'm hoping that this configuration will allow me to get a decent resistance out of it. So let's see. It can be a lot of things. Like you can have a connection not be tightened down good enough to where it's causing kind of a, I don't want to say a spark, a hot spot, which a hot spot basically means where the current is jumping from wrap to wrap, um, and it's not proper, and the heat is not properly being distributed across the whole coil. It's just focused in one little tiny spot, and that can really, and that is normally what causes it, because wherever a hot spot is, any metal that it comes after that hot spot, the current can't quite get to it because it's all focused on that one little tiny spot. And if I get any hot spots on this build, I'll show you. Which I probably will. Every coil that has hot spots when you first fire it. Pretty easy. I like double checking your connections. There's a thing called strumming, where, like, say if I didn't have these coils wicked and juiced already, and I was dry burning them, and if I saw a hot spot, I'll normally take the ceramic tweezers and I would literally just run my tweezers right across the coil very gently, and usually that would kind of help space them out a little bit to where the current can't jump. Razzle sauce by Yummy Nectar, delicious. Yeah, I've been trying to talk to Deb about getting like another coil building 10. Have you made any juice recently? Oh yeah, I've been making juice a lot. Actually, I'm trying out some new flavors. Um, trying my favorite flavor is blue raspberry. So I've been kind of going to different companies that sell DIY flavoring, and buying different kinds of blue raspberries, seeing which one tastes the best, or or should I say, the best one that tastes like blue raspberry. I've had one that did not taste like blue raspberry. It tasted more like it didn't taste like blue raspberry. So now I'm inserting 24 gauge Kanthal into my drill over here. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Let me kind of rearrange my desk here a little bit. Throw that in the bin. That's much better. I'm getting all woozy. Alright. Give that wire a bit of a bend on this end. Straighten this bad boy out. Straight as an arrow. All right. Yeah, it actually does. When you straighten wire, strand of wire, it actually twists a little bit. Like I can't really show you, but it is kind of basically if you're speaking from if I'm speaking from a scientific level, the molecules or the particles of the metal, basically it's like rearranging them. Man, my brain just went. This is what happens when I try to actually think like a genius. Basically, it twists the metal in a way to where it can support itself in a straight pattern. But yeah, it does have a slight. You can kind of feel it has a very slight twist in itself, but otherwise, it doesn't really affect. It doesn't affect the way you clapped in or the way you twisted. It just kind of helps line everything up better. Run my finger along. See, let's get this. And now it's time to start twisting this. I couldn't quite see that comment. It faded before I had a chance. So Clapton, what is that? What is it named? Why is it named that? Okay. Um, It's basically named the Clapton. It was created originally by a Instagram, quote builder on Instagram by the name of Derek Small, and Clapton, basically the musician Eric Clapton, I think is the name of the guy. I know the last name's Clapton, and if you were to look at the strings of the guitar of a guitar, especially like the lower three, you'll notice it looks like there is very small wire tightly wrapped around a larger wire, and so it's basically where he got Derek Small got the concept from. Basically, it resembles that of guitar wire. Making sure the twist is nice and even, which it is. And let's see. That wire twisted looked really cool on camera. Oh yeah, it creates a very like. Oh, I'm not kidding. Like for me, every time I twist wire, it if I look real closely at it, it almost gives me like a hypnotic feeling because just seeing the two different wires just twist over each other. I feel like I can twist this a little bit more, and I'm probably going to do that. When did I start building? I first officially started building back probably around the summer of 15. I started vaping in February of 15, and I got into building around the summertime of that year. First, I learned from a guy at a local shop. Casey Vapes is the first shop I went to get my first vape, and majority of the vapes I've owned before Vaporwise came to Carney. And I basically at that point just learned to just wrap single strand wire coils. And then I wanted to do something different. So literally a guy at Casey Vapes basically sat me down and showed me how to make Claptons, fuse Claptons, showed me the tricks that can go along with it to make it easier. And also YouTube also helped me. Guys like Rip Trippers, Zophie Vapes, Grim Green, Squid Dude. Six. Yeah. It'll be three and a half. Yeah, 3.5 in October. I like his energy. I mean that man be on the camera like he's high, like high or something. Like yeah, buddy. I wish I had his energy. But yeah, I hit my 3.5 year mark. I hit my 3.5 year mark in August. So it'll be yeah 4 next February. Yeah, 4 next February. And there we have it. Oh yeah, I remember it was like being a newbie, sitting there with sitting there watching these guys make ridiculous coils that put out ridiculous amounts of vapor, ridiculous amounts of flavor, and I'm just looking at them with sheer envy, like, you lucky bastards. I'm starting to get into stainless steel wire as well. It's actually what these aliens are made out of. I use the same company, Lightning Vapes. I buy nichrome and Canthol from them. And these, though, are their pre-made rods. 23 cores of 26 nichrome and 36 stainless steel. And I gotta say, the flavor off that stainless steel, ooh, 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 so crisp. Ooh, there went the keyboard. Did I bring the lipo in here? No, I did not. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Lipo. As you can see, not as violent as I like it. Oh man, I swear, vapor wise, I'm the gatekeeper with this thing. People will look at it like people look at it as if they have to hit it like a rite of passage into the cyber lounge community. It's hilarious. Actually, to make sure this is safe, I'm gonna dry burn it on the Maxo. Oh, Riley, Josh, Cameron, Cole, Julia, Debbie actually tried it. I felt so bad for her. Like the moment you heard the quill sizzling, her eyeballs literally got about as big as these spools of wire. I feel so bad. All right, first coil. I think the Grim Reaper was knocking on her doorstep at that moment. on. Come on. There you go. Alright. First coil's in. A little crooked, actually. There we go. RTAs, oh yeah. I actually got the Mason dump tank 40 mil right now. Doesn't have a build in it yet though. I actually just cleaned it a little bit ago, so waiting for the air dry. Actually, yeah, it is. I can't explain why, but from what I can tell is that since uh, the chimneys of sub-ohm tanks and even some RTAs use kind of a volume reduction chamber design in their chimneys, it kind of mutes the flavor a little bit. I don't know why. That's just from what I can tell. Comparing, because I remember one day testing out myself. I had one mod that had a sub-ohm tank on it. One mod had a dripper on it, using the same juice, and I tried the flavors out, and the flavor off the dripper was much better. My guess is because since for a dripper, since you got direct vapor coming from the coils, uh, and typically you have a much shorter distance between the coils and your mouth. I'm guessing that gives the flavor less time to mute, I guess is the proper term I'm looking for. I don't know if you can tell. You see that spot right there on this one coil right there? That's a hot spot. They look cool, but it can severely burn the cotton. That's for one thing. It can burn. It burns the cotton, and also that's what usually causes coils to pop when they fire. Twisted builds, they pop this. They mostly pop mainly because of the twist. Juice gets trapped in that groove, and it can't escape quick enough, and so it builds pressure, and that's what makes a twisted coil pop. But on a coil such as like a Clapton or a fused Clapton that has more smoother grooves in it, that's typically what causes them to pop. So right now I'm just simply strumming the coils out a little bit. It kind of spaces the wraps ever so slightly. Let's see here. Grab the screwdriver. Double check all the connections. That one's a little loose. That one was a tad loose, and that one. So retighten them all. Now let's check her out. All right. Give them a little pinch. Kind of helps the straighten the coil out, keeps them from going all janky. All right, screwdriver again. Yeah, it's like you nailed it on. Hit the hammer around the head. Um, it's just like thread a needle. I wouldn't say though it's as difficult. I would say it's much easier because you get a much larger hole. And there we have it. No hot spots, glowing from the inside out, and that's exactly how you want it. Let them cool for a little bit. That's one less. Actually, if you have an Instagram, follow me, Monster Man Vapes. I put builds up there all the time. I got like I think 6 or 7 builds on there right now. Just some coils that I've created over the past month and a half. Well, hey, Monster Man Vapes is always willing to help out people. Letting them cool a little bit. I can not touch them. I'm just kind of putting my hand over it so I can feel any heat radiating off them. They are still a tad hot. But the cooldown time, though, is very quick, and that's one thing I like seeing about a coil. A lot of my when I first started getting into fuse Claptons and all that, coils, the coils that I was building typically didn't. It had a hell of a ramp up time and a even worse cooldown time. But these, though, cool down rather quickly. I mean, I can't just keep my finger on there. After a couple of seconds, it does get a little hot. But I'm not burning myself. They're not that hot anymore. All right. I guess we. Oh, glowing red hot. Ooh, I don't know. I know Kanthal can withstand heats of several hundred degrees. Nichrome, I think, can handle. I know at least 1,000. Kanthal can 1,000 degrees. Even no, that's not right. They did. They did a test. Someone did a test on them, and I mean, the heat. The Kanthal before it. The Kanthal could withstand well over 100 degrees. I'm assuming several hundred degrees is what I remember. It was several hundred degrees is what the wire was. The temperature the coils were at when the guy held a temperature gun up to him. And they're cool. Well, I think we know what the next step is. Did I really put them right there? Oh. Yeah. Try to put this a little lower so you can see it better. Cotton time. One strip of cotton. Two strips of cotton. Yeah, usually I use cotton bacon, but I just could not seem to find my supply. I think they might be out in my car. I was building yesterday for somebody, so the cotton might be out in my car. May have fell out in the bag. But yeah, I like cotton bacon too. I like how on the back of the package it says, "Do not mistake for real bacon. Do not eat." So basically, what I'm doing here is I'm taking the very end of the cotton right here, right there, putting my fingers, and I'm just kind of rolling my fingers back and forth, like I'm giving the money sign, like "Where's my money?" Getting that end rolled up nice and tight, and that'll make it easier to thread through the hole. That's one thing I like about you, Katie. Your sense of humor. You're welcome. Wow. You better give me that money. Thread through, just like so, and simply pull, nice and gently, and just kind of pull back and forth. Just kind of help evenly get that cotton in that coil. Straighten out these little legs here, just to make it easier on the cutting. One thing that really helps when it comes to after you run the cotton through the coils, another really helpful trick to make sure that cotton is nice and absorbent. Yeah, it's called the juice well. Yeah, exactly right. Um, it all depends, like because since it's going to be going on a lipo and it's going to be operating at a heavier, um, at a higher wattage, and so it's going to obviously heat up a lot faster. It all depends on how you want to wick it. Like for these aliens, the aliens on this Twisted Messes, I cut them just enough to where the ends of the legs touch the deck. This Buddha, I can't really, on this Buddha, I got the cotton weight to where it's kind of tucked underneath the coil. And it's just another thing that you kind of have to, that I'll teach you. Eyeballing it, kind of getting a best guess on like from how deep the juice well is. It all just comes down to best estimation, and that's something I can teach you. It's actually real easy to do once you get the concept of it, which ain't that hard to get. Kind of poking the ends there, kind of fluffing them out a little bit. Me personally, I don't like them. Primarily because most Squonk mods are single battery, and as heavy as I vape, I can't do a single battery. For one, the battery won't be able to withstand the power that I'm wanting to put through it, and two, won't last me long enough. And kind of miscalculated how much cotton to trim off because it's not covering the deck, it's just touching the inside of the juice well. But that's okay because this build came out to 1.2 ohms, which is actually perfect for the LiPo. And that's why I picked the name Monster Man Vapes as my YouTube name. Because when you think of monster, you see something, you think of something big, not mean, well, mean, but in the terms of vaping, you think of someone who is into the crazy, hard, big stuff, like me. And plus, me being 6'5" and being a giant compared to most other people, it would make sense. Juice time. And I know it, and me doing DIY, I actually do still buy balls of juice every now and then. Basically, if I'm out and about and I don't have enough juice on hand, and I wasn't smart and I didn't think that far ahead to mix another bottle, then I'll buy a bottle at the shop, just so I know I got juice on hand, ready to go. Little cute fumes of vapor. Until I put it on the LiPo. No, not really. As far as the coils can actually last you a while. I remember when I actually got to where I can make Claptons really, really good. I think my first good set of Claptons that I built actually lasted up to a year. The cotton didn't. The cotton would last, I say, about a week, week and a half. But depending, most of the time, coils do get bad after a certain period, depending on how much you push them as far as wattage. But yeah, burn cotton gets bad way faster than coils typically do. Um, with my juices, um, cotton can last a while actually because I use little to no sweeteners in mine, so it doesn't gunk up as fast. But coils, yeah, when the cotton gets burned, thread it out, take it out, dry burn the coils again, make sure they're glowing evenly, clean them off, get them glowing hot, then kind of run them under a small steady stream of tap water and just kind of rinse off black gunk, run fresh cotton through, and they're normally good to go. I'm not going to fire these fuse Claptons on this lipo. These are two strands of 22 gauge Clapton with 30. They used 6 wraps on a 3 millimeter, came out to a .09. I'm not going to fire it on this box. I know it looks a little weird taking a spool wire and putting it up to the magnets of the box, but I did remember Kenny Puncher had a bit of an issue labeling wire that says Kanthal, but ended up being nichrome. And I was this guy watching YouTube named Jay Hayes kind of did a test saying that Kanthal is magnetic, while nichrome isn't. So I was just seeing if he was right because Kanthal right here, and it's actually pulling a little bit on the magnet, while the nichrome didn't. Battery life on the LiPo is at 15.8. Yeah. I'm actually glad he did that because some people have a nickel allergy, and nichrome has it's nickel chromium, which is, and so nichrome has a very small amount of nickel in it, not enough to be toxic, because pure nickel heated up can become toxic, but the nichrome has enough other alloys in it where that nickel is practically irrelevant. So we got here a 1.2 ohm coil. I got the LiPo set to full power, so it's going to push out about 15 point some volts. Going to give it a quick juice here. Just kind of make sure it's all nice and wet. Moment of truth. That's more like it. Let me turn the fan off back here. Yeah, that's more like it. That is, in the words of Rip Trippers, chuck and tits. Thank God I'm wearing my glasses. Oh yeah, that meets the Monster Man standards. Whew. Hot. Let's see here. Okay. I'm not. I did. I'm not. I'm not in the video right here just yet. I'm basically resetting the chat so I can constantly because the your comments were fading after a while, and so I got to where they stay up so that way I can read them. That is just insane. Damn is right. I am insane. I'm posting this on the Cyber Lounge. How much is it pushing out? 15.1 volt. There we go. There for a second. Phone was being a little picky. I give that a thumbs up. Thank God I had a door open. Oh, this is what I do for hours. Hours. Just building. Making crazy coils that can make normal people choke. You still here, Katie? I know I see one viewer, making sure it's you again. Let's see. Okay, it wasn't count. It wasn't bringing. It wasn't scrolling up automatically for me to see the newer comments. But. Mm. Mm, mm, mm. Flavor, flavor, gotta get that flavor. A little thirsty though. Mm. I'm glad to hear it. Trying my very best to show people that, and there's a lot of vaping YouTubers out there. I know that. I know that. But I'm trying my best to separate myself from that. My channel really is for putting things on there that I I like, that other people may like. Excuse me. But also to most of the content I'm wanting to be mostly based on what my subscribers want to see, except for squonking. I'm against that 100%. Basically, just because of the fact that there's nothing, you can't really do nothing fancy. Like you can't turn something like the Maxo, which is a quad 18650 mod. You can't turn that into a squonker because adding an extra bottle in there, the mod will be way too big. It's not the fog you should be afraid of, it's what's in the fog. Oh, no problem at all. You got stuff to do. You got stuff to do. And yeah, I'm always going to be around. So yeah, you have a good night. Good luck on your summer classes, and I'll see you. I'll see you sometime. You have a good night, Katie, and get a good night's sleep. Take care now. Well, I got one viewer in, which uh, anybody else that watches this after I finish the stream, I didn't know that person. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching me build this really nice, flavorful coil. Um, Try it at home if you want. You can use different gauges. So if you have, I probably wouldn't recommend doing something like this because I have the proper equipment to make. I got the proper atomizer that can raise the resistance. But if you have a high-powered device like the Maxo 315 or anything of that guideline, like an RX 200 or a 300, definitely try it. Get spool if you're having trouble making Claptons, then get spool tamers like I was using. They make it real easy. So guys, I'm gonna end the stream here. Unfortunately, I got some stuff to do on my own. So please subscribe. Tell me what you want to see in a video, and you all have a blessed night, a blessed Monday, and like I say now, to you the creatures, and that's what I'm going to call my fan base. It fits Monster Man very well, I think. So to you the creatures, you all have a blessed night, a blessed Monday, and I'll see you in the next video. Monster Man Vapes signing off.